For the first time in 146-year-old history of international cricket, a batter has been given timed out. Sri Lanka's Angelo Mathews holds that unwanted record. Mathews was given timed out in match number 38 of the ICC World Cup between Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. And boy, oh boy, he was furious when he was dismissed in that manner. So what really transpired? We will break that down, and of course we'll also talk about the stunning century by Charit Asalanka in this edition of WION World of Cricket. I am NIKHIL MATHUR and I'm joined by 1996 World Cup winning coach Dav WHATMORE. Dav, have you ever seen a dismissal like that? In international cricket, this is the first time, but a sixth instance in the first class cricket. Timed out.
In my playing career, and also I guess in my coaching career, there's been a few instances when we're waiting for the next batsman to come onto the field. And a couple of times it was getting a bit closer, thinking, oh, surely, the umpire might say something here, but no. The batsman came and took guard and resumed and began his innings. In this case, I don't think Angelo Mathews willfully or had any intent to slow the game down.
Yeah.
So because of that, I think he's really upset. I can understand also the opposition captain fearing that he may be running short of time, which means at the end of the last couple of overs he may have to bring another fielder in the ring, thereby, putting his team in a bad place. But for 146 years, as you said, first time it's happened.
So let's get this pick loop. Let us explain it to our viewers how this happened. I think Sadir Samar Vikrama got out in the 25th over. SHAKIB was bowling and Angelo Mathews walked in. And while he was walking in, he just checked the strap of his helmet has come out, so he wasn't ready. So he called for another helmet, and he hasn't taken the guard by that time. And the rules of ICC states that in 2 minutes you have to be ready. The MCC law says 3 minutes, but the ICC law says 2 minutes. And by the time I was seeing it on television, and SHAKIB just did, how was that to umpire? He has the right to appeal, and Angelo wasn't ready. And it was so do you think Angelo Mathews missed a trick, whether he could have, because SHAKIB was bowling, he could have just batted without helmet for those couple of delivery and then got in a replacement?
Look, I feel absolutely sure he would have done that if he knew that this was going to happen. I don't think he ever thought that anything like this would eventuate. It was clearly an accident that in fact, I always thought he was almost ready to face the ball.
Yeah.
When he just went to adjust his helmet with the strap to make it tighter on his head.
Yeah.
As he pulled, it came apart. It came totally off what it was attached to. And then you almost looked down the ground to see if any attachment had fallen.
Yeah.
And it hadn't. So then that's when he realised, hey, it's completely come out of its whatever, and took his helmet off and then immediately called for another one.
Yeah.
So there was no intent to slow the game. There was no intent for any other untoward, unforeseen, agendas in there. It was just a simple error. Some people may say also, listen, you make sure all your equipment's in order before you go out to bat. But it was very unfortunate, Very unfortunate.
So you are trying to say, because even I have seen that. Sometimes when I see a batter, coming in when anyone has got out, he takes more than 2-3 minutes. Because sometimes I feel like, hey, that ad has gone for 4-5 minutes and the batter is still not ready.
Yeah.
But it's just because the team have not appealed, so the play continues. This has happened because you think that SHAKIB Al-Hasan appealed. Otherwise, it would have, not come into anyone's notice.
I did see the footage, and there was an action like this which suggests his appeal. I'd like to know for absolute certain that he did appeal.
Yeah, he did, because I'm pretty sure. And because I also remember the umpire when, when Angelo Mathews went to him and he said, hey, what is this, I couldn't hear what he was saying. But I think the umpire did try to intervene and say, do you really want to go through with this appeal? And I think SHAKIB said yes. Well, this is all what I could see. That's what I am interpreting.
It'd be lovely to get a
transcript
of what happened. But again, if Angelo Mathews, I feel confident, if he knew that this would be a consequence of what's transpired in the 2 minutes, he would have just thrown the helmet off. Come on, bowl up. You know, this guy's a spin bowler. You know, he's not going to hurt anyone.
No,
okay.
Angelo Mathews is a veteran. He was part of the Knight Riders when you were their coach.
Yes.
So usually he was he always on time? What was he like his discipline-wise?
Oh yeah, no problem. You know, he was very much an established player in the Sri Lankan team, playing Test matches and one days and T20 formats. A very likeable fellow, very a player who was always doing the right thing. Never late for anything as well. I almost had, but and he wasn't late here coming onto the ground. He was ready. It's just a very unfortunate thing, and you know I would, if I was SHAKIB, I have to say that I would have just cleared it with the umpires. Listen, this is taking longer than normal. Please don't penalise us towards the end of that, you know, our bowling 50 overs by asking us to bring a fielder in if we are running late by a few minutes. You know, common sense, really.
No, but is this because also there's a little bit of, if I can say, quote-unquote, bad blood between the two teams? I remember that Nagin dance by the Bangladeshi team when they won. So had it been any other team, would they have withdrawn the appeal? Because if there was no appeal, this would have been nothing. Do you think so? That has also played a bit of a part in this decision, you know, because we have seen appeals being withdrawn.
Possibly, yeah. Look, I do recall, you know, a little bit of spiciness coming into the game at the Premadasa. Some incident happened and then Bangladesh did actually win the game.
Yeah.
Or it may have been an incident happened in the previous bilateral game and Bangladesh wins the following game, and there was the Cobra dance, you know, with both hands above the head, which didn't go down well with the Sri Lankans, I have to say.
Yeah.
So it may have also contributed to the appeal, you know, but so unfortunate, really. I mean, this is avoidable, absolutely avoidable.
Okay, so our sports editor Digvijay Singh there was at the ground. He is like the first person observation he's giving, and he's asking a question for you, Dav. Angelo had reached the square when he turned back and asked the helmet to be changed. The dressing room sent something out and he turned it away. Should he have told the umpires what the problem was, or was it incumbent on him to just take guard when he would have negated the timed out mode of dismissal? It is really a breach of the spirit of cricket or poor game awareness from Angelo, who is no spring chicken and who is a veteran of the global game. So again, that discussion about spirit of the game and the letter of the law.
Yeah, look, I mean, the umpire for sure would know what's going on. He's got eyes, and he's at the game. I'm not at the game. I can see what's going on. So it was a clear response to something that happened with the helmet that he wasn't aware of. But okay, so another helmet came on. That I didn't see. Another helmet came on, but he said no to that one, did he?
Yeah, I think that's what.
But the thing is, you know, if the umpires are really concerned about the time, just tell him, look, you know, finish the over and then get it attended to. Spinners bowling, you know, absolute. It's just get on with the game. Just get on with the game.
No, we are live on YouTube and Facebook, and a lot of comments are coming in. They're giving a lot of stick to SHAKIB Al-Hasan. But in your opinion, because, you know, in my opinion, I don't think SHAKIB has done anything wrong. It's there in the laws. It's a legit mode of dismissal. I think why should SHAKIB get flagged for it? That's there in the law. I mean, you can always, what is the spirit of cricket, spirit of the game? You can always bring that discussion up. But he's not right. He's not wrong in appealing that. That's a legitimate mode of dismissal. What's your take on that?
NIKHIL, I can tell you, in just about every game or start of a series I'm involved with, we sit down, captain, coach, manager, both teams, with the referee and the standing umpires before any series, and the referee takes you through what's expected. He hands it over to the umpires, and they have a say on what's expected. And there is always a special area for spirit of cricket. If that's not in it, why bring it up? Every series,
okay,
right? The referee, umpires meet both captains, coaches, and managers. And they have a briefing before the series starts, and there is always a part on spirit of cricket. right? If that's not part of it, then why have it? You know, so the spirit of cricket is important.
But what, like, I was going through the MCC laws. What is this spirit of cricket? It would be something else for someone and something else for someone. But while this is a law, as you can see it on a graphic screen, the specific law that states that, the MCC law 40.1.1. So do you think there should be like a spirit of, how do you describe spirit of cricket? That's what I'm saying. The definition differs from person to person.
Well, it's a thing that it's fellow professionals. You don't abuse people by action or word or deed or, you know, it's actually a mutual respect of fellow professionals.
Okay.
And respect for the game. And this, in 146 years, has never happened.
Yeah.
All right? So I think there's something special in this case.
You know, because I'm pretty sure there must have been incidences where the batter has taken more than 3 minutes or 2 minutes. I think the team wouldn't have appealed. So that's what you are referring to, that there have been no incidents so far.
I know. I've been in games, I think, geez, I wish I'd taken time when the batsman went out, because the new batsman coming in, taking a little inordinate amount of time to come onto the field, let alone, you know, Angelo was there ready to go and then, oh, something's wrong. So this is very unfortunate, but something I think it was avoidable, and it was not in the spirit of the game. A little bit like the run out of the man-canning at the bowler's end. If the non-striker is just lazy and just ambling out with no intent to steal a run, you've got to warn the guy. You can't just run him out straight away, I don't think, even though it's in the rules, in the law, as you said, right? That's the spirit. If the guy's definitely trying to cheat and, you know, get a head start, okay, mate, you know, you're off. So I can truly appreciate both sides, but if I was the captain, I wouldn't have done it.
And the counter argument to the Mankad is that why is the batsman being lazy? You know, it's a smart cricket. Let's say Ashwin is one who advocates for Mankad. He calls his run out at the non-striker end. So, I mean, that's being lazy when you know that's there in the law. So, as you said, you know, the umpires, before a series starts, he has a meeting with the coach and the captains, you know, and he talks about the law, the spirit of the game. Yeah. But that's there in the law. Why would you want to be lazy? If you're lazy,
it is there now. It is there now because that's how it happened. You know? That's been happening for years before Ashwin did it.
Yeah.
You know, warning the non-striker when I played. I used to do it myself when I bowled. Hey, stay in your crease. Yeah. Well, I never did it, you know. But now it's come into light. You know, it's very well known as a mode of dismissal now, as Ashwin said, run out. But I think I would rather like to think there's still some spirit there. You warn the guy, you know, unless, as I said, he's blatantly cheating, then okay.
So, okay, you have coached a lot of international teams. Let's say you were the Bangladesh coach at this point of time and your team would have, let's say they have appealed and they say it's out. Was there a discussion? Because we have seen a lot of time. I remember Sachin calling, I think it was Ian Bell back when the ball didn't hit the boundary. Yeah. So, but I think it's a conscious decision because there was a lot of animated discussion that was happening on the ground. I'm pretty sure there must have been some messages from the inside. So if you were the coach, would you have told your team to, you know, take the appeal back?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I would have felt bad, I'd be honest. I know when I was coaching a Ranji Trophy team, in a quarter-final of the Ranji Trophy, when Kerala was playing, one of our guys, you know, went for a catch, and on his way to throw it up to celebrate, he dropped it. Clearly it was a drop catch. Both umpires came together and they still gave it out. And I felt, that was horrible. That was a bad decision, you know. But the same fellow was out, you know, and over before, given not out. So maybe it balanced, that's what the umpires were doing. But two wrongs don't make it right either.
Okay. So Digvijay is tweeting on X, he's posting, he said, neutral fans not happy with Angelo Mathews dismissal. This is at the stadium. Chants of cheater being aimed towards Bangladeshi fans and boundary fielders in the stand. I'm where he's in. So I think, is that right? Because personally, on a personal level, I think they have not cheated. Cheated is a very strong word. Do you think, where do you put this? Because I think it's in the law of the game, and I, for one, would support SHAKIB HASAN. Either change the laws, you know, let's get this time. I think the makers of the law must have decided something when they had put in this law. I get it. I get your point as well. You know, there have been
They should make it willfully. They should make it intentionally. Was that intentionally?
I mean,
It's not intentionally, surely. Nobody could say it was willfully done, intentionally done. It's very sad. Let's just agree on that one anyway.
Okay, let's take a few comments on No More with WHATMORE. Deepika says, even if this is a so-called rule, it needs to be reworked. Angelo Mathews had a genuine reason. He should have checked his helmet before. Yeah. Was it broke or was it not? Rubbish decision this is. Even the players who get injured, will they be timed out?
Agreed. I mean, but no, when there's an injury on the field, you are allowed 4 minutes.
Yeah.
That's clear. It's also brought up in the referee's meeting. You've got 4 minutes in which to decide whether you're staying on the field or go off for further treatment, and then the next player comes in. So you know, I agree with the caller there in the message.
You know, if we have the scorecard ready, we can take that as well. You know, Angelo Mathews' dismissal has been the talk, but what a brilliant century by Charit Asalanka, because we have the scorecard here. You know, Pathum Nisanka, Sadi Samar Vikrama, and even the captain. Even the captain got started, but none of them converted. But Charit Asalanka, 108, some very good cricketing shots.
Yeah, those three below him, Nisanka, Samara Vikrama and De Silva, actually saved. Charit Asalanka saved these three.
Yeah, and Kusal Mendes.
Yeah, how would it be if he also did the same thing? You know, really, we've got to get players to convert starts, and luckily for Sri Lanka, one boy did that, you know, and he came in at number 5, I think he bats.
Yeah.
So Pathum Nisanka, as an opening batsman, had a lot more time to get more than 108.
Exactly.
You know, and same with Samara Vikrama. So look, they got a start. At least they provided some contribution. But really, if they were naughty, they should go on and get more runs.
You know, and we have been talking about Pathum Nisanka, what, 4 ODI, 450s in this World Cup. If you remove that India match, he's been scoring 40s, but as an opener, you need to convert those innings. I mean, he is talented, but what is gone wrong with him? You know,
he needs to learn. He needs to learn to, you know, when you get to that certain time in his innings, that he has to think nothing else but ones and twos. The bad ball will look after itself. The 4 ball will look after itself. You don't go looking for it. It's always looking for ones and twos, because, you know, at that point the bad ball will appear, you know, very obviously, and you hit. So it's a case of batting time, batting length. You don't look for runs. Runs will come to you.
And again, Kusal Mendes, if we can have his stats as well, you know, I think Kusal Mendes the player and Kusal Mendes the captain.
Here we go.
Kusal Mendes, the captain, hasn't been performing. Is it the burden of captaincy? Because he was playing so well before he was appointed captain, and what has gone wrong with him today? Also, I think he was playing really well.
I think it was a similar.
Nothing short. Tried to play that and
getting caught in the boundary. Obviously, it was a bad decision. He's not thinking correctly. For whatever reason, he's not thinking correctly. He needs to come back. Forget about the captaincy. You're only a captain when you're on the field. When you have to marshal the troops. Rotate the bowlers, set the field, that sort of stuff. When you're batting, you're not captain, you know, and he has to come back to making just basic correct decisions, bat long, and he can do that. He must have something in his head that, you know, making him think, because I'm the captain, I need to be doing
to be that aggressor. I think that's what he was trying to
in a different way, but he doesn't need to do that. So,
and especially in a team when he knows that, you know, not many players are performing. Again, Sadar Samar Vikrama, I think he has always looked good. 41 of 42 balls. Again, getting out at the right time. If he had been stayed with Asalanka, I think because this stadium is quite a friendly pitch for the batters, you know. We have seen 400, 300 being scored here.
On this particular pitch.
On this ground.
A ground, but the same pitch though.
Do you think there was something in the bowlers as well?
No, that was the same pitch that the big scores are made on, not on either side of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it was behaving quite friendly to the batsman.
So do you think they have enough 279?
I think it's a fighting score, but I don't think it's enough. Seriously, I would have think, you know, 300 as a minimum would have been better. But at least they've got something to bowl against.
Yeah.
You know, that first 10 overs with the new ball under lights, let's see how it goes. Madhushankar, who's bowling well.
Yeah.
You know, and if he gets a couple of breakthroughs, it could be, but it's not going to be easy defending, you know, 270. They need 280 to win.
You know, you spoke about Madhushankar. I think Sri Lanka are banking on him for that start. He's among the leading wicket takers, and if he gets a couple of wickets early, Sri Lanka have a chance. And I think these are the only two teams I think who have underperformed. I think Bangladesh just that one victory in the beginning, and Sri Lanka also. I think they are more talented than the points against their name show.
Yeah, surely. We say that about every team, don't we? You know. I think they were ranked third, weren't they, before they come in, Bangladesh?
Yeah, they had a good...
You know, so maybe Arthur Singer may have been right. The expectations on the team, by the players, by the team, may have been unrealistic. I don't know. And maybe they were trying too hard. That's the message we're getting from the coach, head coach.
But if you can have the Bangladesh playing 11 as well, because they have not stuck to a batting order.
Well.
Exactly, I think. And when you have players like SHAKIB, who was the player of the series in 2019, Mushfiqur Rahim, who has been playing so well, and Mohammedullah, I think SHAKIB was playing, if I'm not wrong, he was playing at the number 3 in that spot. Yeah. If you have SHAKIB as your number 3, Mushfiqur, he has scored runs at number 4, but he was again, was playing at number 6. And then Mohammedullah, I think that's a solid middle order, but they have changed it. I think Mehendi Hasan has played in, 5 positions?
6.
6 positions. Yeah. Okay. So they need to stick to it. I think the team doesn't know what each batters want.
Yes, couple of comments. One is with Shakib al-Hasan. He had a lot of success batting at 3 back in the previous World Cup. Yeah. But when you have a combination of batsmen in the team, there are certain players who are more suited to different positions. So I'm sure that the team would have identified your Shanto, who was perhaps better up the top of the order than the middle. So the person who was doing well previous World Cup was Shakib. Shakib said, "No, I'm experienced enough to be able to do, but come down. I'll let you have it there." So things like that. There are certain players who are more suited to certain conditions, but I tell you, this batting order has really been. It's musical chairs. Every game, so I think they've got to settle on something, consistent. There's the phases.
The innings progression, yeah. So Sri Lanka, I think, again, the decent start, 52-61, then sort of lost their way, 49-42, and the flourish at the end that was required didn't happen. They lost 4 wickets.
2, 4, 5. They were 6 down before the start of the last 10. Yeah. And the thing I see again is that, there was wickets falling in sort of regular intervals, and that doesn't help. So the best was 61 runs, and that was twice in the second and the fourth phases. Clearly, you would have thought with one person getting 100 and 3 others getting 40s,
40, yeah.
Should be more than that.
The Bangladesh inning is about to start, but before we go to that, I'm being told that Angelo Mathews was averaging around 68 against Bangladesh, and he didn't even get to, bat a single delivery. We also have a graphics of the other instance, the 6th time it has happened, timed out dismissal. It has all happened only in first-class cricket. So we can have a look at that and what were the reasons for those. But again, Angelo Mathews, he would be gutted. I think with the ball, he would be looking to get some sort of, if I can call it, a revenge.
Yeah, and he's talking to the umpire walking out to the middle too.
Yeah.
With Richard Illingworth. Mm.
Yeah.
So we got those, have you?
Yeah, I think we will get that graphics with the timed out players. I can tell you some. There was, in fact, Andrew Jordan. This is way back in 1987-88. There's a match between Eastern Province versus Transvaal. And the reason that he got timed out was couldn't reach on time due to floods. I think that's due to floods.
Oh, floods?
I think that's an understandable reason.
Well, why are they playing? There are floods.
Apparently, yeah, that's what the says.
Okay.
And most of this dismissal in this, again, was Hemulal Yadav, 1997-98. This was a match, in fact, I think it was a Ranji Trophy match, Tripura versus Odisha. And the reason he was given timed out was he was in a conversation with the team manager. I think it was T, and I think Hemulal Yadav was within conversation with his manager, and he didn't turn up on time. I think these dismissals are legit. I think any team would have appealed and they were given out. Westbird Drakes, the West Indian, in 2002, a border was his free state. He wasn't in the country. So again, he didn't turn up. He wasn't in the state. He was flying.
Well, that's fair enough.
Yeah, okay. And AJ Harris in 2003, Nottinghamshire versus Durham. Oh, he strained his groin, so that's why he couldn't reach on time. Again,
this is totally different. The guy was there ready. You know, but there was a
exactly.
mishap.
So all of these dismissal of timed out.
Were lateness. They were lateness.
Yeah, and you can understand if there are floods, if someone is injured.
This is not lateness.
This is, he was on the ground. He was ready to take guard.
Yeah.
But I think, so very, very different.
You're a harsh man. You're saying you're going with the letter of the law, right?
Yeah, because he should have taken the guard if he knew. I mean, I also believe that,
He didn't know. He didn't do it on purpose.
That's my point.
He didn't do it on purpose.
You cannot take some things for granted. There are laws. If you are running late, no one is scolding you, that's fine. But there is a law. If someone turns up, if, let's say, Bangladesh are a strict team and they appealed, he should have played, because you need helmet if it's a fast bowler or a medium pacer. SHAKIB also.
No, you can get a top edge sweeping the ball. I've seen that happen a couple of times as well.
But I'm pretty sure safety wasn't in his mind. If you would have told Angelo you'll be given out, would you face without helmet? I think he would have said yes, I would.
Yeah, if he knew that was a consequence, only on that for that short period of time, but not normally. He always bats with a helmet. And you don't begrudge anybody for protecting, a very dangerous area.
Yeah.
And there's been some, nasty accidents against spin bowling, not just fast bowling.
Okay. So, Bangladesh inning has started. And will they chase down 279? We'll get to know in about 3 hours from now. Join Isha Hanspal and Dav Whatmore for the post-match show on WION World of Cricket. Till then, it's bye-bye from me.